Hey everybody, this is Dr. Mo, and this is a demo program that will show you how to lock doors until players get a specific item. In this video, I'm assuming that you know the basics of how to set up a text-based game. I'm not going to really explain the code that's already on the screen right now. I will give you a moment to get it copied. Because you probably want to start with this as your base code instead of a game that you've already programmed, but do feel free to use the code that we do here, copy paste it into your final text-based game because it is one of the requirements. Alright, let's get started. So I have a very simple map here. You can see my awesome Microsoft Paint map here. So we've just got 4 rooms in this Tetris shape here. And I already have the code up so that we can go back and forth between the rooms using strings. So if you want to pause it and get this typed up, I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not bad because it's a lot of copy pasting. And let me scroll down to the bottom here. That's the second half. So it's only about 50 lines. And like I said, it's a lot of copy pasting. You get one room done, copy paste it, tweak it so it's got the other ones. If you notice, it does have strings working. So we're using .compare instead of double equals. We're using getLine instead of just cin. And right here, I've got this OR statement here is letting us move to the next room if we say north or go north. You should have some options like that in your final game. Makes it more user-friendly. Great. Okay, so let's actually talk about how to add a string inventory into this thing. And then, why isn't that moving over? Come on. Come on, dude. Oh well, I guess it's going to be stuck there because of the screencast. And then we're going to actually use that to keep a door locked. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a string array. And let's call it inventory. Okay. And let's go ahead and set its size. Let's just say we have 5 items or something like that in there. Okay. And let's say that for my particular game, let's say that there's a key in room 3. So we're going to add a key right here. And you can't get into room 4, which is maybe the final room, unless you have that key. Need key to access. There you go. Some great game design mechanisms here. Okay. All right. So what we'll do is we will, let's see, we said in room 3. So let's go ahead and in room 3, let's go ahead and say, cout, you see a key on the floor. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to check and see my copy pasting here, laziness is a virtue. We're going to check and see if they're actually trying to pick this up. So if they say key, or if they say get key, or something like that, instead of changing their room, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the first slot of my inventory array. So the first slot of this thing is 0. So it's going to be set to the word key. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop them from getting into room 4 unless they have a key in the first slot of their inventory. Okay, so I'm going to go to, let's see, they get to room 4 from room 2, so I'm going to go up to room 2. And before I let them, that's this case here, okay, so if this is the case, I'm going to go ahead and put another if statement in here. I'm going to say if inventory slot 0 equals key. Now, a warning here is that this probably isn't going to work as nice if you have items that have spaces in there. So if you have something like master sword, but there's a space between master and sword, you should probably use the .compare, this thing here. It should look more like that than this. But since it's a simple single word key, it should be fine. Okay, so if this is the case, we're going to send them to room 4. Otherwise, I'm going to say the door is locked. Alright, so to say, I don't know why I keep trying to capitalize that. There you go. Alright, So, and another nice thing that you should probably do is if they pick up the key, you shouldn't see the key on the floor anymore. So I'm going to put an if statement here to check this too. I'm going to say, hey, if inventory slot 0 does not equal key, see out, you see a key on the floor. So you're only going to get this message if they haven't picked it up. And once they've picked it up, then it's not going to be there anymore. You could also do kind of cool, complex things where after they use the key, like in the original Zelda, once you use your key, it's gone. You don't get to reuse it anymore until you get like the master key. So if you want, once they use it, like right here when you say to room 4, you could also like get rid of it. So other doors that need a key, they have to find another one. You could say something like inventory slot 0 equals, you know, nothing, something like that. I'm not going to put that in right here because in case you guys don't want that. Let's keep this simple here. Okay, great. So you can do the same process for other things in your inventory. Just a quick reminder of how to print this out. Inside your while loop, but not inside your switch, if there's something right here, this stuff gets printed every game loop. So if you want to print out your inventory every game loop, this would be a great place to put it. So see out, your inventory is, and then for int I equals 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. We're going to go ahead and see out the contents of inventory slot I, and let's put a space after it, but not an endl because that's going to print it out on separate lines. We'll put a couple of endls here just to kind of space out our turns. Cool. All right, so let's really quick test it and make sure that we're working correctly. Okay, so our inventory is blank. You're in room 1. You can go east. By the way, you would totally get bonked down major points if you turned in a text-based game and the first thing you see is your inventory is blah. This is terrible game design, but as I said, this is just a demo for a particular concept. You definitely need to give your user a lot more information than this. All right, so let's go ahead and go east. Okay. I can go east, west, or south. Let's try to go south. The door is locked. I have nothing in my inventory, so I can't go south. All right. So, and you could, good game design, you'd probably say something more to the user than just the door's locked. You know, say something like, go find a key. Or you can be mean and just make them figure that out. Okay, so you're in room 2. I can go east, west, or south. Let's go ahead and go east again. See if we can find that key. I'm in room 3. I can go west. I see a key on the floor. Let's get the key. Okay. Hey, look, it's there in my inventory. Again, better game design. If I get the key, you might want to say, hey, you pick up the key and put it in your inventory or something like that. But, so for your final game, make that a little bit better than what we just did there. Okay, so let's go west. Let's see if we can go south now. Aha! Okay, so I did make it to room 4, which is the finishing point of this silly game that I wrote here. And that's pretty much it. So I hope that this helps clarify any lingering questions you have on how string arrays work and how to use a string array to lock doors. Remember, there's a lot more you can do than just locking doors. You can make it so, like when you meet your final boss, if you have a particular weapon, you survive. If you don't, you don't make it. So that would be the same kind of if statement check. You could have positive things happen. You know, if you walk in a door, if you walk in a room and you have a particular item, maybe something really good happens to you. So it's not just for locking doors, but that's kind of the simplest, most straightforward example. All right, but if you do have further questions, make sure you ask me in class. Otherwise, good luck and have fun. Take care.